meeting. I am locally here from Flemington. I've lived in Flemington on and off for the past over, I don't know, 30 plus years. It was fun meeting some of the small business owners of business that I actually frequent to. My name is Alberto Garrido. I am a small business liaison with the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. My job is to try to connect small business owners with the resources we have available at the state level, and I specifically work with grants for small businesses. Today, I would love to talk to you about 3 grants that we have at the moment. And just before I do that, let me just, before I skip that, just so you know a little bit more about me. My background is actually in communications. I worked over 20 years in different fields of mass communication. As Julie mentioned, I'm originally from Venezuela. I did work there for over 10 years in Caracas, but the situation there forced me and millions of others to try to find better opportunities. So I came back to the States, and I initially worked at a nonprofit level. I worked for the Affordable Housing Alliance. I was the manager of the Light Heat program in Monmouth County, and that basically helped me transition at the position that I have right now, which allows me to not just connect small business owners, but educate them about the different financial options that they can have at the state level. So today, that's what I'm here for. I'm going to try to see if you guys find any of this information, of these resources that can benefit your business. So to get to it, the 3 grants that we work with right now. One is called the Small Business Lease Grant. This one helps you offset 20% of your annual lease payments during the first 2 years of your lease agreement. The other one is the Small Business Improvement Grant, which is basically a reimbursement program that reimburses you for 50% up to $50,000 for eligible costs, repairs, expenses, purchases that you might have done, that you did for your business going back as far as 2 years from the date that you applied. And the third one is an e-commerce support program, which basically we partner with 7 different consulting companies throughout the state that provide e-commerce services, and we basically sit you down with them so you can benefit from an array of e-commerce related services. So a bit details about each one. So the lease grant. The most important thing is got to be all these. Just keep in mind, all these 3 grants are stackable. That means if you're eligible for all 3, you can apply for all 3 at the same time. Okay, and I'll give you some examples of how you can actually benefit from all 3 as I talk about them. So the first one, the lease grant. The most important thing is got to be at least a 5-year lease term. Okay, we're looking for new leases, but if you have a renewed or amended lease, it could be eligible with some eligibility criteria that I will speak about in a second. So it's got to be at least a 5-year term. Once you sign your lease, you have 12 months to apply for the program. So if you sign your lease today, you have 12 months to apply for this program to be eligible. It's got to be a street level location. Okay? So if it's in a 2nd or 3rd floor in a building, it would not be eligible unless it also has street level space. It's got to be between 250 and 10,000 square feet. Okay, if it's over 10,000 square feet, it could be eligible. We would just apply the grant for the first 10,000 square feet of that space. Some of the other eligibility criteria, the documentation that you need, we're not going to make you jump through hoops. We ask for documentation that your business should have anyway. You can have anywhere from 0 to I believe it's the small business definition of a small business is up to 200 employees. So most of the folks here should qualify under that criteria. It can be, again, 0, so you can be a sole proprietor, so you don't even have to have employees. We ask for documents such as like a tax clearance certificate, business tax clearance certificate, which if you don't have any issues with taxation, it's something you can process online in a matter of seconds, but we also give you instructions on how to process it and support if you have any issues doing so. You have to be in good standing with the New Jersey Department of Labor, the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. This is something that if there's any red flags, it will pop up in our system once we start processing your application. And the turnaround time, if you apply today for the lease grant, is anywhere from 1 to 3 months. That means if you apply today with all the documentation, you'll hear back from one of the processors that started working your application in about 1 to 3 weeks. Okay. There is a wait and time commitment, so we expect you to stay at that location if you are approved and benefit from the grant for at least 5 years. And the wage commitment is that we expect you to pay your employees the greater of $15 an hour or 120% of the minimum wage. If it's business such as restaurants, it would be 120% of the tip, the minimum wage for tip employees. There will be a $100 approval fee if you are once you are approved, but that seems like a pretty good deal to me considering the average grant for this program is almost $25,000. The next grant is the Small Business Improvement Program. As I mentioned, this is a reimbursement program. So basically, as long as you save invoices for any repairs, improvements, if you have a physical commercial location, right, like just a store, you would be eligible to request reimbursement for improvements, repairs, and the purchase of new furniture, fixture, or equipment that you did going back as far as 2 years. Home-based businesses are eligible for this program, but they can only benefit to request reimbursement for the purchase of new furniture, fixture, or equipment, not for the repairs or improvement part of it. Okay. Actually, in fact, the home-based businesses, this would be the only grant that I will speak about today that they could be eligible to benefit from. So again, the most important aspect is that you save those invoices. What we look for is basically the information that we're looking for an invoice is who paid for it. So we can attach that purchase or that repair to your business, when it was done, so we can put it in the time frame that is eligible for the program, the payment method, so we can tie that also to your business, and the item that was purchased, so we can make sure that it's an eligible item. If you order through Amazon, that Amazon order detail, that would be perfect for us. You know, Home Depot receipts. If you paid in cash, or checks, we could ask for a copy of the check or your statement balance. So we offer a wide variety of options for you to prove that purchase of that expense. So again, you can request reimbursement for 50% up to $50,000. So if you spent $100,000 during the last 2 years with eligible purchases or expenses, you can apply today and request reimbursement of 50% of that. Again, you can get up to $50,000. The minimum project cost, which could be an accumulation of projects, not just one, is $5,000. So you can spend $5,000 across multiple projects in your business, and you can request 50% of that back, which come up to $2,500. Again, the maximum grant amount, $50,000. There is also a wage and time commitment if you benefit from this program. So if you get less than $25,000, we expect you to stay at that location for at least 2 years. If you get $25,000 or more, we expect you to stay at that location for at least 4 years. The documentation that is required for this program is very similar to for the lease grant. Again, the business tax lawyer certificate, you can't be any default with any other NJDA or state assistance at the time that you apply. Again, other documents or other eligibility criteria, such as being in good standing with the NJDOL and the Department of Labor, and the Department of Environmental Protection. There is also a $100 approval fee if you benefit from this program, but again, as it is with the other grant, the average amount for this grant is also almost $25,000. Okay. One way that you can benefit from both, before I get into the last grant, say that you lease that property, you sign that lease agreement, and before you open doors, you have a lot of expenses. You have to do the floors, plumbing, electrical, roof, doors, windows. You need to paint. You need to buy, if it's a restaurant, maybe a desk, an oven. All that could be eligible for reimbursement. Okay, so the moment that you have control of that property and you start having those expenses, save all that, because then you can apply for both at the same time. Okay.
That's for a home-based business?
Those are for physical commercial locations. Again, if you have a home-based business, I'll give you an example. Maybe you print t-shirts and you have to buy a printer. Maybe you cook food, you have to buy an oven. Those could be eligible items, as long as it's not attached to the house, okay? Because that would be something that could make it ineligible. So if you wanna get like a bookshelf, as long as you don't mount it in the wall, it could be eligible. You need a desk, computer, iPads, those would all be eligible items, as long as it doesn't live your business too. We get a lot of questions from like landscaping businesses, the lawnmowers would be eligible. They would not, because those are considered rolling stock, and you take them outside of your physical location. Like cleaning business, vacuums and stuff like that, those would also not be eligible. Food trucks, we don't do food trucks either. I once got an application from a person that had like a tour business at the shore with a boat, and he bought a boat and he made so many improvements with it, and he was so sure that he could be eligible, but sadly, we had to explain that that would not be something other. So obviously, we can provide a document checklist, so you know everything that you need to apply at the moment that you're ready to apply. And the persons, people like me, liaisons, can guide you through, if you have any questions before you apply. And there's also different organizations that can help you with the application process if you're having issues with that as well. We cannot physically help you once you start applying, because it would be a conflict of interest as a state employee. But I can definitely give you the tools that you need to do that on your own, or with the support of another professional assistance. So the last program is the Small Business E-commerce Support Program. This program, as I mentioned, we partnered with 7 different consulting companies throughout the state to cover all regions of the state. And the way that it works, there's no application for this program. You contact them directly. So basically, you choose who you want to work with. You do your homework, you see what they do online, what fits your business needs better. You give them a call, you have a conversation with them, and they assess basically your eligibility. They let us know if you're eligible, and we basically just cut them a check for up to $11,400, so they can benefit from services such as website optimization, the creation of digital marketing plan, online reservations, online ordering, marketing as well, online marketing. So it's a great resource to get your business online presence up to date. And again, all these 3 grants are stackable. If the e-commerce support program is tailored for 3 sectors: restaurants, retail stores, and personal care businesses. A retail store is a broad concept. As long as somebody can walk in and purchase either a service or a product, it can be considered a retail store under the program guidelines. And personal care businesses such as barbershops, nail salons, hair salons, wellness centers, yoga centers. So they can also benefit from this program. Again, this is something, resources that are available at this time. The turnaround time for this program is days, because you contact the consultants directly. And I didn't mention that the turnaround time for the improvement grant is our most popular program. We have, I believe, over 3,000 applications that 20 people are trying to process. So the turnaround time for that one is up to 8 months if you apply today. Hopefully that'll narrow it down as we get through the bulk of the applications, but that is the estimated time to get processed there. Any questions?